It's family time! This is my brother right here.
Oh, I hate this.
You know who else are brothers? Dominic Toretto and Jacob Toretto.
You can take that off of me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about F9.
Hey, what did I never do to you to elicit such harsh language?
What's going on, guys? We are the Cinefanatics. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And we are here coming to you today, right now, tonight, whatever time it is you happen to be watching this, with a non-spoiler review for F9, the Fast Saga.
It's the 9th one in the main series of Fast movies. There's a main series and a not main series now.
That's how crazy and absurd these movies have gotten, is they're starting to splinter off and like conquer the world and just completely world domination, or however you say that word.
Crazy and absurd are words.
Yeah, those are a lot of words that we'll use to describe this movie. Again, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie, feel free to watch this review and then go see the movie and then come back and realize that we actually had seen the movie and we know what we're talking about. But before we do that, let's plug a couple of things. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Cinefanatics. We have a Discord that you could hop on. We're building a movie-loving community over there. We also do fun things like movie trivia hangouts and movie watch-alongs, all kinds of fun stuff. Make sure you hop on that Discord and follow us there. As for this movie, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, immediately I'm saying that we're doing a non-spoiler review, but if you've seen the trailer, you've seen
all the spoilers.
All the spoilers, really.
I mean,
spoilers.
We're not going to dive into the actual main story of this, which I mean was
there's
really.
There's smaller plot details we don't want to hit.
Yeah,
it's fine. Right off the bat, you're walking into the 9th Fast and Furious movie, technically 10th if you count Hobbs and Shaw. So at this point, you know what you're walking into. You're going to walk into a movie that is about street racers. The joke gets me every time. It's not about street racing anymore. Are you kidding? I do like that they find a way to sneak it in every single movie, though.
Yeah, each movie they do pay homage to like where this franchise began, and I think they did a very nice job of that in this movie as well.
Yeah,
but
so here's the thing: this movie, this franchise has turned into a super spy thriller at this point. That's effectively what it is. That's what you're getting with the 9th one as well. You've seen the trailers. You know that the action has raised to, what do they call it? Turn it up to 11? Spinal Tap. It is raised to such a high degree that if you're not sitting there going, what? Then you're not watching the movie correctly. You can watch movies however you want. I'm not saying that you should watch a movie one way or the other. But
how do you watch a movie wrong?
With your eyes closed?
Oh, that would be one way of watching a movie wrong. This movie, here's the thing. I'll preface this that, yes, this series is absurd. This series pays no mind to things like physics, logic, reality as a whole. And this particular movie continues that fine tradition of this family in which there is none of those things that we listed off at all whatsoever.
Science be damned. Science. The thing to keep in mind is, and why I actually will argue that I like this one, I do, above some of the other Fast and Furious movies that have existed, is that when you hit the 9th one in the series, you expect that the movie is going to have to start being a little self-aware. And this movie is a lot self-aware. This movie knows what it is. They know what they're doing, and they're not even trying to be subtle about it. They're going, at this point, they're addressing it head on, going, yeah.
Anything happen?
No.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that if Dominic Toretto gets into an accident on one side of the freeway, he gets flung from his car clear over to the other side of the freeway, manages to catch Letty just in time to crash into the windshield of a car, thus cushioning her fall and causing both of them to be able to fully walk away from that with no injuries whatsoever, that you're going to believe it and you're okay with that. That's the bar that this franchise has set, and then this movie is taking that bar and just...
All cars are pillow soft. Remember that.
Exactly.
Remember that going into this movie. All cars are pillow soft when you land on your shoulder and back.
These cars are so soft, I'm actually really surprised a family of cartoon bears aren't wiping their butt with it. I mean, that's how soft these cars are.
That was a joke.
That was a good one.
So here's the thing. We're not going to sit here and like take time to talk about what about the acting? What about the direction?
It's a Fast and Furious movie. What do you expect?
We're on the 9th Fast and Furious movie. It is exactly what you have seen thus far.
Yeah.
The thing here to understand is the storyline. The storyline, of course, being that we're talking about Dom running into his brother that we haven't seen up until this point in the series yet, and the fact that he's involved in this super spy world and all that, and then kind of the inter-family issues between the two of them.
That's what I liked is like so far we've known Dom and Brian, who's since left the series.
Yeah.
We've known their tight-knit group that they've referred to as family. Now we're actually starting to linger more into Dom's actual family, which I mean I feel like we got a little bit with that with Fate of the Furious that explored the fact that Dom has a child now. But this one is actually going into his actual family before he became an adult and whatnot, thus why his brother's involved with this.
Which also gives a very good reason as to why Mia is brought back into the franchise as well. You know, she's supposed to be off with Brian, and they have since left this lifestyle behind them. But it makes sense that if Dom's brother is there, well, Mia's brother is there because Mia is Dom's sister. You know how siblings works. So that's kind of the basic gist is there's a whole like super spy situation happening. Again, not getting into the plot details, not necessarily because we don't want to spoil anything, but because
I have no idea how to explain it.
I'm trying to remember how to explain it all.
Just
the heart of the story, though, is the whole brother issue between Jacob and Dom, and I think that's really what drives the majority of the story. And that's just been the Fast and Furious movies in general. They've always been this crazy high octane action that's ramped up over the course of each and every movie.
You sound like the commercial.
I know.
Critics are calling F9 crazy, absurd, and high octane energy.
But also that the characters are what draw us in. They are the heart of the story, why we keep coming back to these movies. It's not just the action. It's a big selling point, but it's that we actually now care about these characters. We actually like to see what's the next thing that happens to them. Who's the next person who's going to be invited into the family? And are they going to be the villain of the series first before that happens? Because that seems to be a trend. The thing to keep in mind is that this movie does have a lot of really absurd moments. And I don't think it can be understated how much I'm trying to drive that point, how much the both of us are trying to drive that point home, that this movie's got a lot of really absurd moments.
It has a lot of absurd moments that's really going to cause you to sit in your seat and go, no, 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 no. Just it is rather insane. There's a lot of like side missions, side quests. If I'm speaking of this in terms of like a video game, there's a lot of side things that happen in this movie that all kind of feed into the main line.
Yep.
And some of those, I would say, it does feel like some of these side missions are a way to bring in cameos, to bring in other like characters that we've already known from this franchise. Some of it might seem a little forced, but again, like, how do you judge a movie of this franchise for forcing something in, forcing in like unrealistic action, or forcing in a cameo by someone who's been in this franchise already type of situation? How do you get away with that and not just come off as completely absurd or forced?
Yeah, the thing is this franchise has been around for basically 20 years now. And so there's characters all over the place who can come back, who can make appearances. You're going to see that probably in future installments as well. And yes, there are still going to be future installments. There's like at least another 2 movies planned in this, not counting whatever they want to continue doing with Hobbs and Shaw. So this franchise has got a lot of steam left in it still. And I am actually still eagerly anticipating what they're going to do with the story next.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this one goes, I don't know like how to really like quantify this review. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it because it is exactly what I expected going into this movie. It is another crazy, absurd, there's that word again, Fast and Furious movie, and that's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I was eager to go back to the theater to sit in the seat and watch, was just the absolute zaniness and the heart of the characters on the screen. That's what I love about Fast and Furious. That's what keeps me going back. This movie delivers that. If that's what you want, F9 is for you.
Yeah. For me, the absurdity is starting to hit a certain peak. Like, at some point, I'm now, like, removing myself from, like, trying to dive in and be with these characters to being a person sitting in a theater seat or at home, depending on your viewing enjoyment location. I'm now sitting back and watching this going, just... Like, this is a movie that I feel like is primed for, like, your old school Mystery Science Theater 3000, like, riffing, like, being able to just sit there and crack jokes while you're watching it. This is going to be a lot of, a hugely fun movie to be able to do that with later.
They need to do, like, a watch-along with, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson or some, like, famous scientist.
Yeah, get someone in there just to, like, just sit there and do a reaction with, like, physics, because I guarantee the whole time they'll be like,
where are the Mythbusters when you need them?
No, yeah, Mythbusters could have a field day with this entire movie, and it would be that would be fascinating to watch. Yes, bottom line, this movie is entertaining. I will go back and rewatch it, but like the absurdity of this series is really starting to hit a peak with this particular film. And again, anyone who's going to want to comment down below, feel free to if you like. But yes, I understand that this franchise has been absurd. At least I would guess from like the sixth one. There could be an argument for the second and third, but.
There could be an argument for all of them, honestly.
There could be an argument for all of them. Yeah, what am I talking about? What do I know? I absolutely love the Fast and Furious franchise, though. Even like the worst movies of this franchise, I still love and I'll still rewatch. Yep. But this one is really starting a huge departure from the usual for me. So,
yeah. So, in conclusion,
in summation,
because this movie
who uses that word to describe a Fast and Furious movie?
We do, because we're different, I guess. So here's the thing. We like to rank these out of 10. This one I would actually typically start floating towards what you're saying, but because of that self-awareness that this movie is bringing in, the jokes and everything they're bringing along with that self-awareness, that is what really grabbed me and made this movie stand out from the rest of the series. Because of that, I am going to actually rank it a little bit higher. I believe this one is probably about an 8.5 for me.
Okay. I will venture out because I agree with you. Like the self-awareness, it's nice to have that, especially because they're still going to be pushing forward with 2 more movies. This franchise needs to be self-aware at this point and just know what it's doing.
Yeah.
Because of that, it does heighten the enjoyment of this particular movie a lot more. Again, if you have a love for the franchise, I feel like that's what's really needed for this particular movie. Because I do have a love of the franchise, but I'm still on the absurdity of it. I'm probably going to go, I would say, no higher than a 7. And that is, I feel like, being pretty genuine. They're very nice with it.
Yeah.
Again, I will rewatch it. My opinion might change just as I become more adapt to the absurdity of this particular installment. But, that's where I feel like upon like initial thoughts after just seeing it.
Right. So, what about you guys? What did y'all think of it? You know you've seen it. You're watching the review. Maybe you haven't seen it and you're watching the review. Let us know once you've seen it. What did you think? There's a comment place down below where you can type those kinds of thoughts out. Also, while you're at it, hit that like button. Really helps out the video a lot, really helps us out a lot, especially also if you do subscribe. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But as we mentioned before, we're doing all sorts of things on this channel. You can find a lot of it on that Patreon if you really like what you see and you really you have the heart to give and help a lowly YouTube channel out and want to see it grow and sprout wings and fly.
Help out a couple of brothers who want to help their family in the future. Does that work? Is that I don't care. Yeah.
Whatever tugs at your heartstrings. Patreon is there for you to help us out. That would be absolutely wonderful. We're doing, again, all sorts of things. We got the Discord. We got the watch-alongs. We're doing all sorts of stuff. We also got, like, rankings and everything that are happening on this channel, too, coming up. Why don't you tell them about that?
Yeah, so we do rankings every once in a while. We'll probably be doing a ranking of the entire Fast and the Furious franchise, including this movie. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to this channel. You can subscribe to this channel by hitting the subscribe button that's right down below. There's also a subscribe button right up here above our heads. Over here off to the side are a couple other videos we have made. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cinefanatics MLP. And as always, we're brothers. We're happy.
No, no, stop it. Nope.